Hello, my name is Olivia Bava. I'm a psychologist and counselor socio-emotional. With my creative talk, I would like to share with you the amazing life and ideas of people around the world because each person is unique and special. Today we are here. We are with Gunesh. Gunesh is she come from Uzbekistan, right?
Yes.
So Gunesh, please can you talk about you, who you are, uh, why you live in Uzbekistan? I think you are come from there. What you are doing in your life, your project. So I like the people can understand your creative intelligence, how you you create your life. So Gunesh.
Yes. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you for the interview. Well, for me, I don't have a choice. I was born in a family of the art people. My father is a director, theater director, and my mother, she's an actress. And
Wow.
all my life, yes, I was raised on the background of the stage in the theater, and I don't have a like a normal childhood when children believe in Santa. I always know there is a person in a costume because I've been on the rehearsals. So, but I have a very interesting why I am in Uzbekistan. Well, my mom from Uzbekistan, but my mom from a neighborhood country, Turkmenistan, and they met here. They were studying theater here in Tashkent, and they just decided to continue and make a family after they graduated. And yes, and well, I never I didn't know who should I be. I never had an. I was always in a search, and I can say that I'm still in a search. But when there was a time to decide what career I'm going to do, my father told me, "Okay, we have a lot of art people around you. Would you like to be an actress?" I said, "No, I don't have a talent. I know." So then as we are doing a lot of art, so we need a person who will analyze it, who will criticize us, and you have to go to do some theory of arts. So, and I just decided to do the art critiques in theater
So
department. And
you study art critics at the school and university?
yes, at the
Ah,
my bachelor was art critiques, and it
okay.
was with a focus on the theater. And my bachelor diploma work was about the little studio in Uzbekistan, in one of the small cities, Karshi, which actually had an opportunity to travel all over the world with their mono shows. So, and this was my bachelor diploma work, how this
Yeah.
little studio survive in Uzbekistan. Then I have a great opportunity I was invited to the Swiss Cooperation Office to help to support in
Mhm.
some coordination art projects. So in this sphere, I have a lot of variety projects, like with the museums, with the galleries, and with theater and cinema. So at the
Wow,
Swiss Cooperation Office, yes, I was coordinating regional projects like in Uzbekistan and outside of Uzbekistan in Central Asia. And for me, this project was very interesting with the communication of the art people. When you talk and when they have a nice idea and they ask for the support, because Swiss office gives money to realize the ideas and to coordinate all these, to be part of this big system, and then to see the results, and that it impacts on the people's mind, opinion, and a little bit change during the show or during the some concert. I think this is the most interesting about my work, when you see that art can influence people and to their minds.
Yeah, no, I'm right. I'm totally right with you because also, I'm a psychologist, but my bachelor, I have also bachelor in clinical psychology and master degree. But before, I have a bachelor in fine art, in emphasis in drama and theater, and sorry, and dance. So I started very young to as a dancer, and I work also as actress in drama. So I know I love that, and now I'm doing illustrations. So I use a lot of expressive therapy in my work. But yeah, I perfectly understand like art has an impact, and I think we should to continue to valorize the art in every kind of expression, because we are a human being, and we express themselves. So yeah, it's totally interesting what you are doing. And I have a question. Do you have some preference, like I know, music, dance, kind of art? Do you prefer something, drama, or maybe work for museum? Do you have some preference, or you like art in general?
I do like art in general, but of course, maybe because I was from since childhood, I was involved in theater, in drama. I think it is a fusion mixture of all pieces of the arts, and which is incredible about this, that you are in live contact when you are creating, and it's not like there is nothing between you and the audience. There is no like screen in the cinematography, and it is a collaboration of the audience and the people on the stage, and which makes really incredible. And it's, I think is a theater is a magical in a way how it can influence.
Yeah, right. I think the same. And it's interesting.
Yeah.
You really you grow in the theater. And how is because yeah, what you say, it's different to. For example, my childhood life. How is if I has to be like, but when now I'm talking and I'm, visualize maybe you like a child, it's like for me it's magical, like.
Well, uh, it's like experiment, and I could say for sure that for my parents I was a first child and I was experimental child. So they were learning how to raise a child, and I was a part of this great experiment. And for me, I was a person who always seated on the first row, because my parents is always rehearsing. There is no division. There is art and there is your life, so it's woven together, and you don't know. And sometimes I can say that I was missing from that crazy life with full of emotional people around you, and every day like a holiday. But sometimes you need like stability. You want to be like a normal child, to go every day for the dance, have an opportunity for that, not to travel with your parent all over the country because they were traveling a lot and I was traveling with them, and always changing the schools, the kindergartens. And it brought to my identity, like maybe because I have a nomadic roots from my father's side, so I always want to move somewhere.
Yeah.
uh, Even with the job, if you've seen, I always were changing, like maybe because I'm always in a search. And for me, it's very difficult to work in the office from early, like from 9 to 5.
Oh,
Uh,
I
yeah.
understand. It's the same for me. But I'm 15 years experience in international school, but it's like you. It's difficult for me have office hours, so
Yeah.
I prefer to be more free in my time and manage my time differently. Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And I can say that there is no borders in a way of childhood, and it has an impact. You want to have some routine sometimes in your life, but you can't anymore because you couldn't just, okay, this hour I will think about art, and then this hour I will think about my life. It always goes together. And I can say thank you to my family, like my own family, because when I'm doing some projects, there is no limits. You know, you always think about, you always on in touch with your artist or with your dancers, and it's a huge part of your life. You couldn't take it out and cut it off.
Yeah, of course. And when I was listening to you, you said, yeah, you travel a lot with your parents, but also in your adult life, you travel also for your work, or you change a country. Where did you work before? I know you were in China. I was in China too, but not at the same time. So yeah, can you? I think it's interesting also for the people to know we can go where we want. Maybe now it's a little bit difficult, but we can.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
possible.
well, I at the beginning, when I started my students' years, I started to travel from Soviet Union, post-Soviet Union countries like Russia, Ukraine, and then after I had a great opportunity to be in a program CEC Arts Links in the United States. I was my exchange program in Cleveland Public Theater in Ohio State, and I met a lot of interesting people. So I have another opportunity to do some independent project with my father there. After I have been involved in a KUMA program. It is for culture managers in Berlin. I just loved Berlin, Germany. And then I was working in a National School of Drama. Also, I was involved in two projects. It's production for the academic people already, for the people who already develop their theater skills. And it's like, when people not new in the theater, but they have already background, and then they decided to develop theatrical skills. So we stage two projects. It's a Persians by Aeschylus, and then another was also a Greek drama, Cain and Abel. So, and yes, and then I've been in China. My reason for going to China, it was, well, I was working like about 10 years in a Swiss corporation office. And then I decided to know about more international relationships, about diplomatic things. And then even being in a master degree in international law, in politics, I just decided to bring up the idea that in a peace and conflict studies, like the theater have the contribution. So my diploma work in political way. So and Chinese people and my professors were, well, it is very vague that the art can influence in conflict situation. But I was
Okay, I think it's a good idea. I can.
yeah. Yes, and they were trying to ask me to bring some numbers,
Ah, yes, yes, statistics. This is with numbers.
statistics, numbers, yes, and yes, and all over the world. For me, theater also, it's interesting in a scientific way, how it can really, like in art therapy way.
I
uh,
right. I'm working with expressive therapy,
yeah,
and I love that. So for me, yeah,
yes,
it's the
yeah. And the catharsis, yes, it is like everybody talks about that. And when you really see how people change after one of the production after the performance, it's incredible. It's something really interesting happening. And actually, because the actors also change with the audience, and every time when the performance depends from the audience also, it's very, it's like harmonically connected.
Right,
So
right.
in my yes, and my masters, after masters I have come back to Uzbekistan. Now I'm working also collaborating with the Swiss office and with international organizations like British Council, Goethe Institute, and helping in coordination some projects in Uzbekistan. And as I told before, as I mentioned, for me it's always interesting when people are eager for the art. They just couldn't live without art, and they really need support in
Yeah.
realization of their ideas, which actually for me art people can feel the world differently.
Yeah.
I'm more in on the background of all these things, and for me it's very interesting how it they have ideas, how they develop it, and how then they see the product. But the process is much more interesting, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah, of course, because they visualize, but sometimes they don't have a already clear idea uh,
Mhm.
how this project can be real. So yeah, what you say, the process, it's very important, and also if someone is there also for support them and for become this project really is amazing.
Yes, yes, because when art people create something, they don't want to be disturbed with all these
Yes,
financial things, with coordination, with logistics and everything. And
yeah.
for me, it is very important to create the friendly atmosphere for for giving a birth and art
Yeah, right, right.
art product.
Exactly. But I was thinking, now I was listening you because you never you never created your art project because you like you grow in the theater. You like now you are a lot experience, international experience in the coordinator in art project, but because you are inside, but you are influenced with all these creative intelligence ideas go around. I'm curious to know if you maybe you already create or maybe you want it, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I never had this ambition to create my own work, like to, for example, to stage production or to do something. But for me, as I told you before, for example, I had a project before the pandemic situation, like 2019 and 20s. It was collaboration with the Swiss office and Canadian artist Sashar Zarif. He's a famous dancer in Canada and all over the world, and he was making dance production with our local dancers, young uh, musicians and the people who just graduated and started their career, and it was beautiful. It was based on our one of directions of the dance, Lazgi. Well, and it's a very, you know, dynamic dance with full of passion. And it's a big problem here that this dance last year it was accepted like in heritage of UNESCO, and now it is especially the man dance is disappearing because here in our mentality, in our culture, that dancing men are not a serious person. Oh, I can say overall art person are not serious. It's like when you say that you are somehow connected with an art, you are doing something, and then, so you're not a serious person. You're like, it's not a real job. So, and for me, to make this collaboration, to bring this person here and to meet, and I can see how the guys, the boys were changing during the project. For me, it was more than I wanted. I can see how during the project they changed their minds. Sashar Zarif, the dancer, he actually brought the idea to dance and to be a dancer, it's a very honorable thing to do, because you are sharing the way how you behave, how you relate it with your body. And I could see how boys and they coming to me and said, we never thought that the dance could be so scientifically like showed on the stage that it is your language, your body is your language. And yeah, and this process, I'm like, I never had the eagerness, I'd never had the wish to do something. Maybe I'm just now, trying to collect the ideas, and maybe sometimes I decided, okay, now I have something to say people. For now I'm just enjoying, these collaborations, these art projects. I just happy to be a little part of it.
Very important part of
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I was asking you if there are in now our project in your mind, or because yeah, maybe in this time art can be stop a little bit, or but if you are working on other projects.
Yes, I have a great opportunity to be a project manager for Bonum Factum Gallery. It's a contemporary art gallery which supports young artists who are trying to their career and starting. It's like a springboard. It's like a hub for a lot of foreign and also in for foreign collaborations, for the local collaborations, and we have. Uh, During pandemic time, Swiss corporation supported the incredible project. It's art residency, because when you are isolated in a small place and you are an artist, but you couldn't go somewhere and to do some your work and workshop, and the only of your communication with in a socium, it's your artworks. And lots of art people were depressed, and then we decided, the gallery director Shahnoza Karim Babayeva, she decided, okay, let's open art residency and give them art people workshop, a peaceful place when they can create. And so it was in Bukhara, ancient city, and in the old ancient building, which we opened the art residency there with the support of Swiss office also. And then we did the pop art installation in a billboard, and we did a lot of art lectures for the people who wanted to develop and have no time to know about our local culture. And you know what, during pandemic situation, I think it's all over the world, there was some artists who never traveled in Bukhara and Samarkand because they were always traveling out of Uzbekistan. Now it was bringing them to their roots to see their culture. So and we're still continuing this kind of collaborations, workshop, art residencies in the gallery. And I also was asked to support some of the projects in British Council. I'm art projects coordinator. We have British Council had a lot of projects to creating network between art people in Central Asia. So we are launching one contemporary art festival. It's called MOC Fest, MOC. So
So
and
you contacting artists in Central.
it's a yes, it's a festival of young people who works in media, in documentary, and in some mm, also music. And it's a big festival, and they are just starting it. And because of the pandemic situations, they wanted to do it last year, but now they will do, and hopefully it will happen in Uzbekistan, and it will be in an incredible documentary gallery of the documentary photos. So, and another project, it was the crafts.
When will be the festival?
The festival, it starts from March 18
Mm.
until the 27th of March. So it's very talented, and the British Council had a big 3 years project, creative producers, who brought and created this network, and the people who went through these projects, now they are collaborating in one festival, which is called Mock Fest. So it has a lot of visual and film and music, and also some choreography. So lots of directions, and they're very talented, and they are trying also express what's going on right now and with the help of art. It's
Yeah.
also therapeutic. Coming out from isolation. And another project, it's with our crafts people who makes and craft art, and so it's going to be a project of dyeing like natural colors, because people now using a lot of chemicals, and
Mm.
now we are trying to preserve some of the secrets, how to bring these natural colors from organic food, from the grapes, from all this stuff. And it's a workshop for the craft people, and also it's opportunity for the people in our culture to preserve some cultural things, and to sell it in in the Western countries, because some of the colors could be too bright for the Western people. And now they're adjusting in the taste of the Western people,
Okay,
because
okay.
it is very difficult. It was very difficult during pandemic situation. They couldn't sell their products, and then there was no tourists coming. But some of them, like they established websites, and they're selling a lot of materials on the website. But still, there is a lot of collaboration with art people, designers from the West, and they're trying to do some product which brings money for these people to continue the job which they have from one generation to another generation. We still have these kind of families who try to say the secrets only to their sons, and they have business inside their family. So, but some of them are disappearing because, for example, to buy a knife from Chinese made in China knife for $5, or to buy a Uzbek made in Uzbekistan, which is from the real steel, is like $20 or $40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and now these crafts people, they are want to at the same time to save the quality,
Mm-hmm.
and to make it to people to understand that it is our, you have to support it because it's our culture, otherwise
Yeah.
everything will be Chinese.
Yeah. Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why they are thinking how to bring out, to preserve our culture, and to become natural for all of us to use our own products.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you do also project with art project with schools, like maybe residency or ready up? Have
Residency.
yeah. In schools, because also it's very
Yeah.
interesting to
Yes.
bring
For
art.
example, yeah, Swiss office was supporting for a long time in this Bonafactum gallery, which is called Art Fabrik, and it was a long project with the orphanage guys, and who had the opportunity to study dance also, then theater performance, and a lot of artworks like fine art paintings. And for the gallery, it was important not only to be an art therapy, but also to give them skills. And after like 3 years of this project, we have already results. A lot of kids who stopped being in the orphanage, then they go to bachelor degree or some places. They decided to not to work, but to decide they decided to continue this education, and we hope that it is an influence of art. And during our project last year, which was Sashar Zarif, Canadian dancer, he also gave a series of workshop of the dance, and one of the guy, he after the workshops, 2 weeks workshops, he come over to us and said, I know what I want to be. I want to open my own dance studio and
Oh,
to be a dancer. Yes, and for us it was such a happy moment, because he said, I found myself what I really like to do. I like to dance, and we are continuing this now. And we decided to shift to other orphanage house and in regions, because we gave this kind of model how orphanage schools can work with the kids. And now we are trying to work with other people who really needs this kind of support. And because unfortunately in our education, arts not obligation, like it's not in every school program like
okay.
theater, dance.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have it. And it's I think it's something we have to work on it. So it's, for example, if parents wants their kids to go for the art, they have to pay for the music classes, for the
Ah, okay.
dance classes separately. It's not in our government program.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
So yeah, we do have a music schools, and they are very like everybody can go there. The money is very small to pay for that, but not a theater, for example. Theater is something
okay.
very and yes, and some theaters has the studios, but it's not so um, like in not in every theater you have this opportunity to bring your child and say he wants to do some theater. I think it's very important start to bring people, the kids, in the art from the very early age.
Yeah.
uh, it doesn't mean that he will do the art in the future, but yeah, for the development, I think
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's very important. Yeah, but it's changing. We are trying to do to bring more art. And we in it's very nice. We had after these workshops in orphanage, we have every time after the end of the workshop, we have like a show of the production with when the professional actors works with the kids, and then they have their own exhibitions. And for them very important to be that they are part of the society, so they can also bring their voice in this
Yeah.
society. And when we came to with dancers on their school on the orphanage, they have already have 2 years of this art fabric workshops, and they already was open for the art. You know, they were happy to be involved. And for them it was like a time when they can be themselves. You know, they don't shouldn't be pretend someone in order, or to be a little bit different in order to survive in society, because they have their own society. So, and this is a moment when they starting to open. I think it is incredible about art when people can open, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's incredible what you are doing. It's
Yeah.
you do you have some words thought to share with people for to conclude this interview? Maybe because you are really into the art, so maybe inspired some young or maybe adults. We don't know. Maybe adults they dream about art, but they never take the
Yeah.
chance to work in. Maybe if you
Yeah.
have.
I can say that you I can say that if you want to do something, you shouldn't be afraid of doing it without thinking that it will bring money to you or not, it will have an income or not. If you really into something and you can do it very well, I think it is the most like of your achievements you have. You can just to do what you love, and everything will just come. Just follow your heart.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you. Hope it was interesting.
Thank you so much.